Hey guys, Ken from Rogers Rigs, and I know some of you guys have seen our video we got up here down making some chicken again on our pit boss. So we smoked that chicken, we got some really crispy skin on it, as you can see, and we ended up deciding, hey, what else are we gonna do with this chicken? Found a recipe we can use. Let's take a look. So guys, we're back in the kitchen again today, and I wanted to tell you what we're gonna make. We're going to make a white chicken chili. That's what it was called anyway, at least the original recipe. I've done my own variation here. I can't take credit for the recipe. The recipe actually came from the Meat Church Kitchen. And we changed it up a little bit only because there's some people in the house that don't enjoy spice. And this will have a little bit of spice anyhow, but it's much milder than the beginning. And we changed out a few ingredients, added a couple more things to it, and we'll show you those things as we go. It's a very simple recipe, very little cooking to actually do. One of the things I do is I prep some of the ingredients and cook them a little bit ahead of time. And then I go out and I put it on the pellet smoker to get us that really good smoky flavor, which is part of the original recipe. Alright guys, so this is everything that I'm putting in this, and I'll go through real quick and you guys can see it. One thing I learned being a chef and a cook in several places, they always hammer it into us to add seasoning at every layer, so that way you end up with a good, well-seasoned dish, and you make sure you taste along the way. The salt actually helps draw the water out, and that's what we're looking for. We're going to let this go for a little bit until we get them at least translucent, if not a little bit brown. While we're waiting for those onions to get browning, we're going to get this stuff right here chopped up and get it ready to go. Put it right there in that pot. Well, a handful. So my hand is a little bit big, but it's a little over a cup each time I put it in, so it's 3. And we have 4. And so we're going to call it about 5 or 5.5 cups. And now we're going to add the rest of our ingredients. So the recipe calls for 32 ounces of chicken stock, so I'm going to use chicken base. And you can see here it's going to basically be roughly a quart, so we're going to use 4 teaspoons. That should take care of us. And you can use just your standard chicken base. And so while we're waiting for our water to heat up, just going to get ourselves our cheese block out. Original recipe calls for 10 ounces. I find an 8-ounce block more than does the job. I don't know that I would add the extra 2 ounces, but again, that's up to you guys. But we just basically, want to put it in small pieces. So I just cut it in sticks first, and then cut it into smaller. Perfect. I'm just going to add this to our pot with everything else. And if it turns out that this looks like it's not enough liquid for you, you can always add more. But to be honest, all I'm going to do now is just give this a good stir, combine everything around, and we are ready to go down the smoker. Okay guys, I've got the pellet smoker set up and ready to run. It's a good thing to go ahead and make sure you've got it set and running before you even start your prep. I just let it go on here for a couple hours, and honestly, the longer it goes, the more smoke you get, and to me, the better it tastes. So we're gonna let this go probably 3 hours, all total, at about 350 degrees. Couple quick tips, guys. Make sure your pellets are topped off. Make sure that your grill, the one accessory grill that's on top, the second level, make sure that that is not in there at this point, or if your pot will fit underneath it. And also make sure your pot will actually fit in the smoker. I know for a fact I can fit my 5-quart pot in there, so that's what I'm using. But make sure you keep an eye on your pellet smoker as well. Don't just leave it. Check it every hour or so. It's gonna be delicious when you're going and sitting at home and it's getting some nasty weather outside. Okay, everybody, so we are back out here at the smoker, and we are running our temps. Oops, you can see that we're running at 350, and it's been about an hour and a half. So we're gonna take a look here, open her up, give her a stir, and she's smoking right along. It's gotten dark since we put it on, so it happens this time of year. But hopefully you can see, right there we have a chunk of what was cheese, is now melting in there. So that's gonna add a really nice creaminess to it. So we've got a little ways to go because we're still, the cheese needs to melt, but it looks like everything's getting up to temperature quite well. What I'm going to do is once it gets to that point where everything's heated up and it's melted real well, combined all together, I'm going to turn down actually the setting on this to the actual smoke setting, and just to get more smoke going through this, to give it an extra little shot of it. That's if I think it needs it. I'll taste test it before then, but right now I'll give it a little test here. It's already got smoke in it. So I may not need to do that at the end, but it is good. But it still needs to heat up more. Right down there is where our auger is, and it's got an indentation there because it's sucking all those pellets down there as it moves. And so now and again, it's worth checking it. So normally what I do is check it every time I come out. And if it's got a hole there, I kind of fill it, or I tap it on the side. Make sure that's got them down in there. And just make sure it's pushing them through. Alright guys, so it's a couple hours later, and we actually pulled this out. And look at that goodness. We got that smoke around the edge. Right there, that red. Got a beautiful color to it now. And it's got a ton of smoky flavor to it. We're just going to take this and put it in a bowl. Some chips maybe. A little bit of sour cream. Can't get much better than that.